Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Dad is in Control podcast. My name is Brian Chauvin and I'm the founder of Dad is in Control. Today I wanted to start the episode with a quote. Something that was said to me by one of my coaches that I really didn't understand at the time, but now I think I get it. The quote is, "The rising tide raises all ships." Now, after thinking about this for a while and after some conversations and a little bit of life experience, I understand that when I become a better version of me, when I become happier, when I take care of myself, the world around me is lifted up. The world around me is better. They feel better by default. For example, when I'm happier, my kids are happier. It seems to radiate. So why am I mentioning this? Well, I have a lot of conversations with men, and a lot of the times men are too afraid to ask for help. They're too afraid to really take a look at themselves and understand what it is that they want, what it is that they need, and frankly, who it is that they want to become. So during one of these conversations the other day, the man said to me, "Well, I'm afraid that when I get started this journey, I'm going to leave my wife in the dust. I'm going to start becoming better and better and better, and she's going to be in her little dank pit of hell." Okay, I get it. Some of us are very stuck in our ways. But let me tell you a story about me. So rewind about 10 years. My wife was working a job that she absolutely hated. She was making great money, and it was what she went to school for, but she was miserable. So me and her had a conversation and agreed that she was going to quit this job and do something of her own. After a little bit of coaching and a little bit of investing, she finally figured out what it was that lit her up. And she started down this, what I'm going to call a rabbit hole. And this rabbit hole is a trail that she's still on. She's so happy. She's doing what she loves. She's making changes in other people's lives. And she has freedom. Midway through this journey, she had a conversation with me. She brought up to me a few very important questions. She looked at me and asked, "What is it that you're passionate about? What do you love? What do you want to do? Who do you want to become? Who are you?" And you know what? I couldn't answer. I had absolutely no idea who I was. And then she made a very bold and powerful statement. The statement was, and I remember this like it was yesterday, the statement was, "If you don't start on this path and I continue going at the rate I'm going, we're going to be divorced." I couldn't imagine a life without my wife. I couldn't stand the thought of somebody else raising my kids. So it was time to take massive action. I picked up a book and I invested in some coaching and among other things, but as I started realizing, as I started asking myself these questions, what do I not want? Who do I not want to be? These questions paved the road to some very, very powerful brainstorming sessions. They helped form the man that I am today. And after a lot of work and a lot of self-thought and a lot of investment, I feel I have a pretty good grasp on it. I'm night and day different than I was even a year ago. So during these conversations with the men, during these other conversations that I have with people, I remind them that you're not doing this for your wife. You're trying to do this for you, to have some passion, to have some spark in your life, so that you don't have to come home from work and sedate yourself and hide. You can create a world that you want. You can create the life that you desire, the life that you dreamed wasn't possible, the life that everyone said never existed. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work, and it takes some priority shifting and some shift in mindset, and the most important thing, a shift in your inner stance. So what happens if you start down this path and your wife or your partner doesn't start, and you start to leave them in the dust? Well, then it's time for a conversation. Then it's time for the tide to raise all ships. Then it's time for you to do your job and educate and inspire and motivate and support. I'm not going to promise you that it works out 100% like a fairy tale, but if it doesn't, then that's something you could deal with too. See, I started down this path because my wife basically gave me an ultimatum. My wife pushed me over that hill and had me start running. And you know what? If she didn't push me down that hill, would I have started? I don't know. I was comfortable. I was in cruise control. The bills were being paid. We were going on vacations. We were taken care of. We had money in the bank. But I didn't know me. I didn't love myself. I didn't know who I was. And my priority was work. After all, work paid the bills, right? It was the most important thing. But I traded that time for money. And what I didn't consider is all of the things that I missed out on. I mean, I missed out on putting my kids on the bus. I missed out on some important school field trips, all because I had to work. I had a job. Mind you, a job that I loved. I loved my employers. I loved my job. I loved the people I worked with, and I loved what I was doing. But don't take this the wrong way. I love my family more. Now, looking back, I've created time freedom. I do what I want, when I want. If I want to schedule a day off, I schedule a day off. If I feel like working in the evening rather than the morning, I do it. I've created and designed a life with my wife that we can go for lunch at any time. We can do what we schedule, what we want, what we desire. And I love it. And I owe it all to her. I truly do. But this isn't something that is impossible. This is entirely possible. You just have to know what it is that you want and do a little bit of work. And don't be afraid to start by leaving your partner in the dust. Because I think once they start seeing the signs that you're happier, that you're better, that you're climbing up that hill, you truly will inspire them to do the work for themselves. So that's my lesson for today. That's my thoughts. A couple of final notes before we go. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this podcast. Head on over to iTunes and give us a rating and a review. It goes a long way for exposure in helping us deliver this message to other people. Secondly, if you haven't also, head on over to dadisincontrol.com and join our private Facebook group. If you want to carry on this discussion and have meaningful conversations with other people, like-minded, or people that are in similar situations, do that now. Join our private Facebook group and continue on in this conversation. And last but not least, if you're a man that wants to become a better version of themselves, a better husband, a better father, maybe a rock star in their career, maybe you just want to get to know who you are, I can help. We have multiple different programs that we can put you into to help discover the answer to these questions and more. To get the ball rolling on this, all you have to do is head on over to dadisincontrol.com/start and fill out the application for coaching. Click the send button, and then that'll prompt a phone conversation with myself. It's that easy, because you're worth it, because you can do it. So guys, until next time, thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the inside of the group.